the reason I had told you, you had started off when we was on the phone earlier. You was just like, man, bro, Eric B, bro, he about to get a lot of heat. And I said this last night after the game. And we kind of also talked about this before when you was talking about him leaving to go get certain jobs. You, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you were saying that like people have been under a stern belief, a religious belief, if you will, that Kansas City's offensive success is primarily been because of Andy Reid. Now they may say Andy Reid, but it's a afterthought. Oh yeah, Eric B too. Yeah, he the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So because everyone heaps the praise to Andy Reid for the success of Kansas City offense and how great it's been throughout the entire season, I think it is completely unfair now that they underperformed in the Super Bowl with limited, being limited due to injuries and so forth and so on. I think it is completely unfair that now they underperform to now go single out Eric Bieniemy and say that's your fault. You didn't prepare them.
Gotcha. So
because you didn't say Andy Reid.
Tell you
you
why.
Specifically said Eric. You didn't say it was Andy Reid's fault. You said specifically Eric B.
Bieniemy. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I said it. I don't know why other people said it, but I'm gonna tell you the reason why I said it. So I don't know if you guys heard about the car crash that Andy Reid's son got into.
Yes.
Right. And so stories were coming out saying that he was going to back off on the play calling. Now, I don't know how true that is, right? I don't know how true that is. But if it is true, and there were many times where I saw on the broadcast when plays were being called in, Andy Reid had his play call sheet on his side, and Eric Bieniemy had his play call sheet in front of him, talking into the mic. Now, usually when they do that shot, you see Andy with his play call sheet up, you see Eric B with his play call sheet up, you see them both talking. You don't know who's talking to who or what's going on, but normally you see both of them going at the same time. There were about 3 or 4 shots in the game where they looked over and it was Eric Bieniemy talking. So I assumed, putting 2 to 2 together, hey, maybe Andy Reid wanted to make a point and say, hey, I think we can win this game. I think we can win this game big. And I want to show people that this guy who just got passed over for a head coaching gig for the second time, that he can coach. So that's just what I'm assuming, right? Now, you know what they say when you assume, right? So I could be looking dumb after this, but that's the reason why I said what I said. But in all, you're right. The blame, for their play calling, it needs to go on both of them. Somebody had to create the game
because obviously like we wish the people in the accident the utmost best and the utmost best outcome. But correct me if I'm wrong, but that happened the day before the Super Bowl or like on a Friday or something. It wasn't that far.
It was. I think it was like 2 days. It was like 2 days before. It was like 2 days before.
So you had 2 weeks to prepare. So like Andy Reid and all of this preparation and the package of what plays are going to be called. So being very sensitive to talking about what his son and the other people was being very sensitive to that, moving that out the picture. He still has a great big deal of what went on with. He does.
And you're right. You're right, Edward, to call us out on our BS on those of us who are being hard on Eric Bieniemy. You're right on that. Okay.
When you say we, it was only you. But go on.
I'm talking about this. I'm not talking about people on this podcast. I'm talking about the collective we, the Twitter sphere, the other folks who are calling out Eric Bieniemy today. Yeah, I'm not talking about everybody else on the podcast. I don't know what y'all.
I was though. That's what my perspective was. But go ahead.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So you are right, Edward, to call us out. But here's what I'm going to say. For all of those people who are Eric Bieniemy disciples, who follow Eric Bieniemy wherever he goes, who thinks that he walks on water, right? If you can't accept his failures, you can't accept his successes either. If the failures of the Chiefs are not on his back, don't put their successes on his back either. So for all those who try to crown him as he's the reason for them being there, when they don't do well, don't say it wasn't him. Now, I have been on this podcast and I have not criticized, but I've questioned the genius of Eric Bieniemy. I still have questions about the genius of Eric Bieniemy. I do not have questions about the genius of Byron Leftwich. No one does. You know why? Because Bruce Arians made a conscious decision. Hey, I've been an OC in the NFL for a long freaking time. I brought success to Peyton Manning. I brought success to Andrew Luck. I brought success to Ben Roethlisberger. I brought success to Carson Palmer. But you know what? When I have a black offensive coordinator under me, I am going to relieve all offensive play calling duties to him. There's not going to be any question about who is doing this. It's going to be him. It's going to be him. So no one has any questions. No one is guessing, hey, how much of it is Byron Leftwich? How much of it is Bruce Arians? Bruce Arians did what he had to do and say, I'm moving myself out the way. I'm just going to tell us when we got to go for it on fourth and when I got to call timeouts and when I got to challenge. The whole offense is up to Byron Leftwich. Andy Reid has not done that. And because he has not done that, we don't know. We don't know who to blame or who to praise.